the beauty of the environment. So although it was nighttime, I remember like looking at the sky, and I had never seen a sky so dark. Because see, in Gambia, there are not all of those street lights, you know, like in America. So you get to see like the night sky, the beauty of the night sky. And the stars, this is gonna sound so dramatic, but I'm telling you, it's the best way that I could describe it. But the stars were like twinkling like diamonds. I mean, because the sky was so dark, it was just so beautiful, the most beautiful sky, you know, that I had ever seen. You know, I was really looking forward to the sun coming up and me just seeing like what it looked like in the day, because the night was just so gorgeous. But aside from that, I had never seen so many black people in my life. Like, oh, it was just such an amazing thing to experience. Everyone was black, and no, everyone's not black here in Gambia. Everyone is not black, but when we arrived, I didn't see any, like, everyone in the road was black. The police were black. That just like, and I mean, I was just so, I don't even know how to I really don't even know how to describe it. It was just so, you just feel like you belong. Like, I just felt this sense of belonging and this sense of being home in a place that I had never I had never been to before. I just remember there were men on, I don't know if they were mopeds or motorcycles, and I just remember thinking like, these people do not know how free they are. I mean, there were like, men were sitting and drinking tea and they were just having a good time, and there were several people selling merchandise. It was just like something I had never even, my mind could not imagine. Like, your mind cannot imagine. Um and they were so loud. They were so loud, and I was thinking, so coming from America, whenever you see a group of black men and they're loud, you're just thinking, oh, it's gonna be a matter of time. You know, before someone's gonna call the police, or they're gonna feel threatened or in danger. You know, but the police were black. Like, imagine someone calling the police saying, I don't feel safe. There are black men being noisy outside, and the police are black. Like, oh my God. I was just thinking like, oh, there were so many fears that I had been living with that were automatically released, you know, when we got here. So having a black teenage son in America, arriving to Africa, or Gambia at least, I'll say, you know, the fear was released. That fear of, you know, worrying about my son being out wandering around. But yeah, I was just thinking about all of, I mean, and then like a sadness came over me, honestly, because I was thinking about how most African American men or boys, males, you know, will never, will never even see Africa, because African Americans were terrified of coming to Africa just because of everything that was on the television. And still a lot of people are afraid to come here. They're afraid they're going to get sick, you know. And so I was just feeling sad, because I was like, black men in America need to see this. They need to see how free and carefree the people are and how safe they are here. They believe in the American dream that's shown on the television, and they just really don't know, you know, they don't know what they have. They don't know the freedom that they have. They don't know that they're not going to have everything that they have here when they go to America, you know. So I felt free. I felt like my family was free. Finally, like, huge burdens were lifted off of my chest immediately upon arriving. Like, it not to sound dramatic, but it just honestly felt like we had escaped prison. uh, um, The first night we spent in Gambia, I remember when we woke up the next morning, my son Ismail. So at that time when we moved, I think Ismail was 5 years old. Was he 5? No, he was 4 years old. He was 4. So my son Ismail, he was 4 years old, and he said, "Mommy, can you come watch me because I want to go outside. I want to go outside and play." And I said, "Go ahead, sweetie. You can go outside. You know, I don't have to watch you. It's safe. You can go outside." And he said, "Well, who's going to watch me?" And I said, "No one needs to watch you because it's safe. You know, it's different from when we were in America. Because in Gambia, you know, most of the houses have literally a wall around, you know, around it. It's called a compound gate, and the people passing, they can't even see inside. They would have to climb the wall, you know, to be able to see inside your yard. And he just he didn't feel safe to go outside because it wasn't what he was used to, you know. And I just kept telling him that it was safe, it was okay, you know, you can go out and sit on the front porch, it was okay. That's when I realized that, like, my children are free. I was free from constantly worrying, from having to watch my children every second of the day. They could go outside and live a normal childhood, you know, because I knew that the childhood that they were living in America wasn't normal because it's not how I grew up, you know. Outside used to be safe. So those were the first, those were like my first impressions of the country. It was just automatically a release of stress. Another thing that stands out in my memory was waking up the next day and not thinking about a mailbox, because there's no mailbox. There's no mailbox. And like in the US, the mailbox, it can be the start of like your stress for the day, no matter how good of a day you're having. Or at least I remember and living, trying to make ends meet, basically, you know. And I just remember there were days that I'm getting off topic here, but some days, you know, my husband would come home and get the mail, and it was just like what came from the mailbox just automatically brought on a bunch of stress, you know, a bunch of bills, trying to figure out how they were going to get paid. So yeah, it's nice to be in a country where you have 2 bills, your electricity and your rent. Well, you know, cell phone, but cell phone's not all that expensive. But yeah, you pay your rent once or twice a year. Most foreigners that move here don't pay month to month, you know, although they have that option. But yeah, just escaping all that stress, and not living to pay bills, being in a safe environment, you know. I can send my 7-year-old, even before he turned 7, you know, with a list to go to the shop around the corner, and he can go and buy bread and get things that we need for the house. And yeah, so the safety, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, the safety, it was just, you can't imagine it. You really can't imagine it. But so those were my first impressions of the country, my first few experiences. And I don't know if you guys want another video like this, because I do definitely have more to share. But I had some questions actually, and I have so many videos that I need to make. I'm behind, you know, because I had taken a little break from YouTube. But so I want to do a Q&A. I definitely want to answer some of the questions that you guys asked me. But I also have a little bit more that I want to share about this experience. So let me know, guys, in the comments whether you want a part 2 of this video for me to share more about what happened when we first, or how I felt, or some of the experiences when we first moved to Gambia, or if you want the next video to be answering the questions that you guys have. All right, guys, I enjoyed making this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.